Welcome back to our channel. Today we will explore the incredible life story of Narendra Modi, a man who rose from humble beginnings as a tea seller to become the Prime Minister of India. Through this story, not only will you learn about his early struggles, powerful speeches, and political journey, but you'll also improve your English listening and understanding. Because this is a graded reader story, made easy just for you. Let's begin this inspiring journey step by step. Chapter 1. A boy from Vadnagar, Narendra Modi was born on 17th September 1950 in a small town called Vadnagar, in the state of Gujarat, India. He belonged to a very humble family. His father, Damodardas Modi, ran a small tea stall at a railway station, and his mother, Heraben, was a housewife. They lived in a small house with few resources, but one thing they had in plenty was hope, discipline, and love. From a young age, Modi was not like other children. He was curious, hardworking, and disciplined. He helped his father sell tea at the local train station. Life was not easy, but Modi never complained. Even as a child, he dreamed big. He believed that one day he would do something great for his country. People around him didn't always understand his dreams, but he never stopped believing in them. In school, he was not the best student, but he was very active. He participated in debates, plays, and speeches. He also loved reading and learning about Indian history and great leaders. His teachers noticed his confidence and his powerful way of speaking. They often said, "This boy will go far one day." Modi also had a strong love for his motherland. As a child, he joined the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, RSS, a group that believed in discipline, service, and patriotism. Through the RSS, Modi learned how to organize events, work with others, and serve the community. These lessons helped shape his future as a leader. Despite many difficulties, no money, no big name, no powerful family, Narendra Modi kept going. He believed that hard work is more powerful than luck, and this belief became the foundation of his life. This is just the beginning of his journey, a journey that would one day take him to the highest position in the country. Chapter 2. The Wanderer. A search for meaning. As Narendra Modi grew older, he faced a powerful question inside his heart. What is the purpose of my life? After completing school, instead of taking a traditional path, like going to college or finding a job, he chose a very different journey. He decided to leave home and travel across India. This wasn't a vacation. Modi wasn't looking for comfort or fun. He was looking for truth, purpose, and a deeper meaning of life. He visited spiritual places like the Himalayas, Rishikesh, and Ramakrishna Ashram. He met monks, saints, and spiritual teachers. He stayed in caves, walked for miles, and lived with minimal food and belongings. He spent 2 years wandering across India, learning from the silence of the mountains and the wisdom of the sages. During this time, Modi learned how to live simply, think deeply, and stay focused. The peaceful environments taught him the power of meditation and self-discipline. He started understanding himself better. This journey made his mind calm, heart strong, and vision clear. After 2 years of deep thinking and inner transformation, Modi returned home. But he wasn't the same boy anymore. He had become a man with a mission. He realized that his purpose in life was to serve the people of India, to help the poor, uplift the weak, and bring positive change. Modi did not return to a normal life. He didn't start a business or settle down. Instead, he dedicated himself completely to public service. He joined the RSS full-time, where he began working at the grassroots level. He started by organizing small events, helping in villages, teaching discipline to the youth, and uniting people for the good of society. This period in his life taught him how to lead from the ground level. He never cared for fame or comfort. He believed that the real leaders are those who work silently behind the scenes. Little by little, people started noticing his leadership, dedication, and hard work. He wasn't just a tea seller anymore. He was becoming a man of action, someone who didn't just dream, but actually made things happen. Chapter 3. The Rising Organizer. A Voice in the Crowd. After returning from his spiritual travels, Modi became a full-time prakarak, volunteer, with the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, RSS. This wasn't an easy job. It meant no salary, no fixed home, no comfort. He lived in simple rooms, ate basic food, and traveled constantly. But he was never tired. Why? Because he had found his purpose. He was assigned to organize youth camps, unite villages, resolve conflicts, and spread the message of discipline, nationalism, and service. He walked long distances, often slept on floors, and worked late into the night. He was always thinking, how can we make India stronger from the roots? People began to notice him, not because he asked for attention, but because of his tireless energy, clarity of thought, and humble behavior. He never wasted a moment. If there was a problem in a village, he was there. If a community needed guidance, he would speak to them. If a team needed leadership, he would quietly lead by example. What made Modi stand out was his ability to organize people and inspire them to act. Whether it was planning relief work after floods or bringing together divided communities, he was always thinking, planning, executing, all while staying behind the scenes. But his talents couldn't stay hidden for long. Senior leaders in the RSS soon realized that Modi had extraordinary skills in communication, strategy, and planning. He wasn't just hardworking. He was visionary. He could see problems before they arrived and was always prepared with solutions. He began training younger volunteers, writing articles, and creating detailed reports about issues in different states. His understanding of Indian society, politics, culture, and history was deepening every day. And yet, he remained grounded, never arrogant. During this time, he also learned one important skill: how to connect with people from every background. Whether someone was rich or poor, educated or illiterate, young or old, Modi could speak their language. He could listen deeply, understand their pain, and offer real solutions. By the late 1980s, the Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, which was closely connected to RSS, needed people like Modi, people who were sharp, honest, and fully committed. And so, Narendra Modi was slowly moved into active politics. It was time for the world to see the organizer become a leader. This marked the beginning of a political journey that would shape the future of India. Chapter 4. Entering Politics. The quiet strategist behind big changes. As Narendra Modi's work in the RSS grew, it became impossible for leaders in the Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, to ignore his skills. He had become a powerful organizer, someone who could bring people together, solve complex problems, and lead quietly without seeking the spotlight. And that's exactly what the BJP needed. In 1987, Modi was officially brought into the BJP in Gujarat. His role? To strengthen the party at the grassroots level, reaching villages, listening to people's needs, and preparing the organization for elections. It wasn't a glamorous job, but for Modi, the goal was never glory. His mission was to serve India. He was a man of action, not words. While others gave long speeches, Modi traveled across Gujarat, often by scooter or bus, meeting small groups of workers, listening to the pain of farmers, the problems of shopkeepers, and the struggles of daily wage earners. He used everything he learned to build a better strategy. Within a few years, Modi had helped the BJP win the hearts of people in Gujarat. He wasn't the face on posters, but he was the brain behind the campaign. Leaders began to trust him. He had a sharp mind, and more importantly, he had a deep connection with the ground realities of India. But things weren't always smooth. Modi also faced opposition from inside the party. Some people were uncomfortable with his rise. They thought he was too disciplined, too focused, too strict. He didn't play political games, and that made him a challenge to others who did. Yet he never let negativity slow him down. Instead, he focused harder on his mission, reaching the last person in the line. He believed that politics should not be about winning power. It should be about empowering people. He began using technology, data, and creative methods to reach voters. While many were stuck in old political styles, Modi was already thinking 10 years ahead. In 1995, BJP won big in Gujarat, and Modi's strategies were celebrated. But soon after, due to internal politics, he was moved away from Gujarat and sent to work in other states. For some, it was a punishment. For Modi, it was an opportunity. He used this time to study India deeply. From the hills of Himachal to the deserts of Rajasthan, from the villages of Bihar to the cities of Maharashtra, Modi saw the real India, its beauty and its challenges. He took notes. He met people. He asked questions. And slowly, a bigger vision was forming in his mind, not just for Gujarat, but for the future of India. Chapter 5. Trials, Tragedies, and Transformation. Modi becomes Chief Minister. It was the year 2001. Gujarat was shaken by a devastating earthquake in Bhuj. Thousands lost their lives. Cities and villages were destroyed. There was pain, fear, and a desperate need for leadership. At this moment of crisis, the BJP chose Narendra Modi to be the Chief Minister of Gujarat. Many questioned the decision. Modi had never held a government position before. He wasn't a member of the Legislative Assembly. Critics said he lacked administrative experience. But those who had worked with him knew. He was disciplined, fearless, and focused. On October 7, 2001, Modi took oath as Chief Minister. From the very first day, he began working like a man on a mission. He didn't waste time on celebrations. Instead, he immediately visited the most damaged areas, met survivors, listened to their pain, and began rebuilding. Under Modi's leadership, Bhuj was reborn from the rubble. Hospitals were rebuilt, roads were repaired, homes were constructed with better safety standards, and industries were encouraged to return. His focus was simple: rebuild not just buildings, but confidence. But then came 2002, one of the darkest and most painful years in Gujarat's history. The Godhra train burning and the riots that followed left the state in deep sorrow and shock. Lives were lost. Communities were divided. The entire country watched Gujarat with fear and confusion. As Chief Minister, Modi was in the middle of this storm. He faced intense national and international criticism. People questioned his leadership, his decisions, and even his silence. For the first time, Narendra Modi felt what it meant to carry the weight of a state's sorrow on his shoulders. Some leaders would have quit. Some would have disappeared. But Modi stayed. He responded not with anger, but with development. He said, "We can't change the past, but we can build a better future." And with that, he launched one of the most ambitious plans in India, to transform Gujarat into a model state. He introduced the idea of minimum government, maximum governance. He cut red tape. He brought in technology. He invited businesses from around the world. Roads, electricity, water supply, education, and women's empowerment. No sector was ignored. His focus was on inclusive growth, taking development to the last corner of Gujarat. And slowly, the narrative began to change. People who once doubted him began to admire his determination. Farmers got 24/7 electricity. Students got scholarships. Industries created jobs. Villages became cleaner. Gujarat, once seen only through the lens of tragedy, was now being talked about as the Gujarat model of development. Modi's speeches were simple, but his message was powerful. If 60 years could not change India, give me 60 months. He began connecting directly with people. He used technology, emails, video conferences, and later social media to stay in touch with even the remotest voters. He was no longer just a chief minister. He was becoming a national figure. But the road wasn't easy. He faced political attacks, investigations, court cases, and media trials. Yet, he never paused. Every morning, he began work at 5 a.m. He read reports. He followed data. He trusted young minds. He welcomed feedback. And most importantly, he kept listening to the people. By the time he completed his third term as chief minister, Narendra Modi had transformed Gujarat into one of India's most developed and business-friendly states. Chapter 6. Modi's Rise to National Leadership. The Road to Prime Minister. The journey from Gujarat's chief minister to India's prime minister wasn't easy, but it was historic. Let's dive in. By 2012, Narendra Modi had already served 3 consecutive terms as Gujarat's chief minister. Under his leadership, the state had become a hub of infrastructure, industry, and innovation. But while Gujarat was rising, the rest of India was struggling. At the national level, India was facing corruption scandals, economic slowdown, and a lack of strong leadership. People were losing trust in the government. There was growing frustration among youth, entrepreneurs, and ordinary citizens who wanted change, not just promises. It was during this time that many began to look at Modi as a national hope. He had a track record of delivery. He spoke the language of development. He wasn't from a political dynasty. And he had the ability to connect emotionally with the masses. Slowly, within the Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, a powerful debate began. Should Modi be the prime ministerial candidate? There was resistance. Some within the party feared his image was too controversial. Others doubted whether he could win across all states. But Modi didn't push. He kept doing what he always did, working harder than anyone else. Behind the scenes, he was building a team of dedicated volunteers, connecting with youth, encouraging professionals, and preparing his strategy. He believed that if India needed a new future, it required a new kind of leadership, bold, decisive, and accountable. Then came 2013. In a historic decision, the BJP officially declared Narendra Modi as their candidate for Prime Minister for the 2014 general elections. What followed was one of the most aggressive and energetic election campaigns in Indian history. Modi traveled across India, addressing rallies in thousands of cities and villages, using technology, holograms, 3D projections, and social media to reach every voter, from students in metros to farmers in rural fields. He introduced the slogan, "Ache din aane wale hain," good days are coming. He spoke about digital India, skill India, make in India, and promised a government that would be accountable and corruption-free. For the first time, Indian elections felt like a national movement, a movement for change, and the people responded. On May 16, 2014, the results were declared. The BJP won a clear majority, and Narendra Modi became the 15th Prime Minister of India. For the first time in 30 years, a single party had won on its own. And for the first time ever, a man from a humble background, not from a royal family or political dynasty, had reached the highest office in the country. On May 26, 2014, Modi took oath as the Prime Minister of India at Rashtrapati Bhavan. The event was watched by millions, not just in India but around the world. Leaders from neighboring countries were invited. It wasn't just a political moment, it was a celebration of democracy. But Modi knew the real work was just beginning. He immediately started by focusing on clean governance and fast decision-making. He canceled outdated laws, encouraged transparency, and promoted digital platforms to reduce corruption. In his very first Independence Day speech, he surprised the nation by talking about cleanliness and launched the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Clean India Mission, something no prime minister had ever prioritized before. He started Jan Dhan Yojana to ensure every citizen had a bank account. He focused on rural electrification, toilets for girls in schools, gas connections for women, and direct benefit transfers to cut out middlemen. He wasn't trying to be popular. He was trying to be effective. He traveled globally, representing India with confidence, from the US to Japan, from Europe to Australia, winning the respect of world leaders and attracting investments. He made yoga an international movement by getting International Yoga Day recognized by the United Nations. But even as he worked on big missions, he never forgot the smallest Indian. Whether it was a soldier, a sanitation worker, a student, or a farmer, he wanted everyone to feel like they mattered. Modi's leadership style was hands-on, highly disciplined, and centered on performance. He held frequent reviews, tracked progress personally, and never tolerated laziness. He had his critics, he had his supporters, but no one could deny. Narendra Modi had changed Indian politics forever. He proved that a leader with no political family, no fancy degrees, and no connections could rise to the top with vision, willpower, and hard work. Chapter 7. Narendra Modi's second term. Legacy, challenges, and the future of India. After the successful completion of his first term, Modi once again stood before the people of India in 2019, asking not for power, but for a renewed chance to serve. This time, the message was clear. Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, meaning with everyone, for everyone's development, and with everyone's trust. The people responded overwhelmingly. In May 2019, Narendra Modi was re-elected with an even bigger majority. It was a rare moment in Indian politics. People were not just voting for a party, They were voting for a vision, a leader, and a mission. From day one, Modi started implementing bold and historic decisions. One of the first was abrogating Article 370, removing the special status of Jammu and Kashmir, something many leaders had only spoken about, but none had dared to act on. This decision was both praised and criticized, but it sent a strong message. Modi was not afraid of taking bold steps for the nation's unity. Next came the Citizenship Amendment Act, CAA, aimed at giving refuge to persecuted minorities from neighboring countries. Protests erupted, debates sparked, but Modi stood firm. He believed that India must be a home for the oppressed, and he did not back down. Then came 2020, and the entire world was shaken by the COVID-19 pandemic. It was one of the greatest challenges of the century. Millions lost their lives, countries shut down, and fear spread everywhere. In India, with over 1 billion people, managing such a crisis seemed impossible. But Modi took early and tough decisions. He imposed a nationwide lockdown to save lives, ramped up health infrastructure, and launched Atmanirbhar Bharat, self-reliant India, to boost local industries and reduce dependence on foreign countries. He supported scientists and ensured that India not only developed its own vaccine, but also supplied vaccines to more than 100 countries, earning global praise. It was during this time that Modi's true leadership was visible. Calm, focused, and always in service. Meanwhile, Modi continued to push reforms in agriculture, defense, digital economy, and infrastructure. Projects like Ujjwala Yojana, Ayushman Bharat, and Har Ghar Jal touched the lives of millions. Highways expanded. Metro rails reached smaller cities. Airports, digital banking, and startups grew. Under his leadership, India became one of the fastest-growing major economies in the world. Modi also led India to host the G20 summit, where world leaders gathered under the theme, One Earth, One Family, One Future. He spoke about global peace, climate responsibility, and digital public infrastructure, putting India on the center stage of global diplomacy. But beyond policies and global recognition, Modi remained connected to the common people. He started Man Ki Baat, a monthly radio program to talk directly with citizens. He met children, soldiers, scientists, farmers, and entrepreneurs, and listened to their stories. He encouraged innovation among youth and proudly spoke about India's heritage, yoga, and values on international platforms. Even at the age of 70+, he worked long hours, woke up early, traveled tirelessly, and never took a single day for granted. Many may agree or disagree with him, but no one can deny Narendra Modi is a once-in-a-generation leader who redefined Indian politics. His journey reminds us that background doesn't define your future. Vision, values, and determination do. Today, Modi stands not just as a political figure, but as a symbol of hope, hard work, and national pride. Conclusion: Narendra Modi's life is not just a story. It's a message. A message to every boy and girl in a village who dreams big. A message to every young mind struggling with failure. A message to every citizen that nothing is impossible if your heart beats for your country. So, if this journey inspired you, then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Because in this video, we saw how one man's courage, vision, and discipline changed the destiny of 1 billion people. And who knows, the next great leader might be watching this video right now.